Hey guys. In this by request video, we're going to take a look at a neat little feature in the item cost table called cost break quantity. Now the scenario is this. A retailer has the option to buy a certain amount or certain number of cases from a manufacturer or a wholesaler, and when they hit that certain amount or buy that certain amount of cases, they get either an item free or a case free, something like that. Now the retailer came to us and said, "Self, we need a way to manage this cost through the system to ensure that we buy whatever it is that we're supposed to buy and take advantage of the discount that we get on the invoice." Now, whether or not you track inventory and it affects the true item cost in the margin reporting is going to be up to you, but I'm going to show you some neat little tools about how if you do manage inventory and do use average costing in the system, all of that can be reflected as well. And I'm also going to show you some of the new stuff of SMS and Floor. Without further ado, let's hop in. All right, so to start off, we're in a basic item cost view in SMS Pro, and we've got the item up that we're going to work on for this particular video. Now, I've got some analysis windows open over here to the right. Just ignore those for now. Those will come in handy here as we progress through this video a little bit. What we want to focus on is the cost table down here, and specifically this quantity break entry right down here at the bottom with the start date and the end date for the month of March. So the real magic of what we're going to do here is right over here to the right here in this section of the cost table. Now our simulation here is that the vendor is allowing the retailer to buy 3 cases and get 1 free. So that's basically what we set up here. Now our dates are the month of March, and if I buy a minimum of 4 cases, because I got to buy 3 to get the 4th, and a max of 4th, meaning I can only get the deal 1 time in a particular order, I'm basically getting that final case for free or 25% off the entire order. Now, one other element that makes this thing kind of special is this field right over here, off invoice. If we double click here, you're going to see some options come up, and you're not going to see all of them, but the most important one is right here at the top that's highlighted, off invoice. When we do that, that is going to affect the cost of this item so long as we meet the requirements right over here to the left on the particular order prior to us sending it to the vendor. Now this is kind of a neat scenario because we're going to go ahead and set that flag on. Now you'll notice normally in SMS when you set up allowances and discounts and stuff like that up here and you apply those changes, you're going to see that the cost change in this type of scenario. In this instance, it did not change because this is one of those criteria or one of the requirements that says you may or you may not elect to do it. You may only order 2 cases, that way you wouldn't get the deal, that way there's no reason for us to adjust the cost up here. So it's kind of an interesting scenario that allows us to manage items that we can earn free by buying so many or a number of cases or whatever the scenario is. Now let's hop over into some of the ordering tools to see how this thing actually functions in process. So to demonstrate this functionality, I'm going to hop over into MFloor, our new version of the SMS PDA. Now if you have the older version of the SMS PDA, don't worry about it. The steps are virtually the same. The screens are going to look a little different. So from the main menu, I'm going to go into the buying module, then I'm going to start in the purchase order module. I'm going to create or add a new PO, and I'm going to have to text search here on my vendor so I don't have to scroll through and waste a bunch of your time. Here's my vendor that's in question. I'm going to go ahead and click them, creating the purchase order header document. Now in real life, you're going to be using your MFloor gun to scan either the shelf label or maybe some other barcode that you have on a piece of paper. In this case, I'm going to have to go ahead and do it manually. So I'm going to type in my item number here, 323. I'm going to double tap enter, and you're going to see that I went ahead and entered now into the line item in a traditional SMS purchase order document. So from here, we're going to demonstrate how this impacts the purchasing process. I'm going to come down here to the quantity I want to order, and I'm going to go ahead and change that to 3 and type in enter. Now you see my total cost here is $109.95, which is 3 times the traditional unit cost. That's what expected. But remember, our deal was if you buy 3 cases, you get the 4th free. So you got to go ahead and tell the system that I want to go ahead and buy that 4th case. Now watch what happens. The total cost on the purchase order stayed the same at the $109.95. Look at the unit cost. It adjusted down because now we have 48 items at this total cost of the invoice. So the unit cost was reflective of that adjustment. Now to complete this portion of the demo, I'm just going to go ahead and close this purchase order like you normally would. Voila, there you go. So we've sent our order that we placed on MFloor electronically off to our vendor, and while that vendor is getting the product ready to ship to us, I wanted to show you one little neat piece of analysis data. I went back into Pro and I just opened up my buying history from the analysis menu. Analysis, buying history. Here's the little window that pops up. Now here are the 4 cases, 48 items that we just ordered. And again, notice that the total cost of that PO that we sent off was $109.95, which is basically 3 times the standard cost. Notice that my net cost for each of these 48 units is basically $2.30. My standard net unit cost, though, you can see right down here in the cost table, is $305. Now, what we did on that purchase order did not affect the cost record. So if you're not maintaining inventory and don't care about average costing, this part isn't going to mean anything to you. But you can see clearly that SMS is tracking the total amount owed to this vendor is basically $110, which is buy three, get one free. All right, so now a couple days have gone by. The vendor has packed up and shipped us our product that we ordered on that purchase order we created. So I'm back in Info and I'm going to receive this product at the back door. I go into the receiving piece of the module. Here's the PO that we had. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. I've opened it up. I can look at my current lines. I've got all my 4 cases, all that good stuff. I can come back out to the header and I can close this document out just like what you're used to doing. Now, as you expect, what is going to happen is that those units, if you're tracking inventory, are going to be received in inventory, and if you're tracking inventory, average costing is going to be updated. All right, so we're almost done with this demonstration. I come back into Pro to show you a couple things. Now, I haven't touched anything over here on the right hand side just yet. I've got inventory history window open, movement by date, and also margin analysis. Now I'm about ready to refresh the screen, and what you're going to see here is that we're going to have inventory history updated here because we just completed a receipt, and you're going to see the quantity and the dollar amount here. So let me go ahead, refresh that screen, and you can see right over here we've got our quantity 48, basically 4 cases received. This was the total amount that we paid on that receipt, and then the average cost. Now look, the average cost and the standard cost, unit cost in the cost database is a little bit different. Why? Well, we took advantage of that quantity cost break right down here that we set up. Now, we're going to hop over to the POS, we're going to sell these items, and then you're going to see some additional magic happen for those of you that care about average costing and inventory. So to wrap this up, I went ahead, hopped over to my POS, and I scanned the item of the ketchup that we've been working on so far. I've also increased the quantity to 48 just to simplify the back end of this process. We're going to go ahead and close this out, hop back over to Pro, and I'm going to show you what happens. So we're back in Pro. You can see it's set up just like we did before. I'm going to go ahead and refresh the screen here. Now watch what happens. I've got my movement over here of the 48 items that we just sold in that POS transaction. Now something kind of cool that you may not expect or may not even know. If you manage inventory in SMS, SMS will use average costing in order to calculate margin and all the sales reporting and movement reporting and all that good stuff. If you don't manage inventory, it's going to use database cost. So let's just suppose in this case we were managing inventory on this particular item that we've been working on here all morning. So we went ahead and received 48. We got the special deal up here which changed our average cost to $229. We went ahead and sold those 48, and you can see right down here in the movement by date window, our margin on this sale was 47.8%. But our standard margin based off unit cost in the cost table should be 30.4%. Well, the difference is because, remember, we bought 3 cases and we got the 4th free. So the entire financial transaction went through. Now, whether or not you want to track inventory or manage any sort of average costing is completely up to you. If you don't want to manage that, it's pretty simple. You're going to have all your reporting based off of unit cost in the database, but you'll be paying the vendor based off the buy 3, get 1 free. Pretty cool stuff. Well, that's it for this week's tip. Hopefully we've taken a complex idea and made it, well, not so much, and shown you how all the data can flow through the system automatically. Until next time, have a great day.